So this week we are doing the t-test. It's a one sample t-test. The key word here is one. You're looking at one sample. And bottom line is, in this respect, we are looking to look how whether the mean of the distribution differs significantly from some preset value. So think of it this way. If I was to throw a dart at the board, okay, and then a whole bunch of other people threw the dart at the board, added up all the distances across the board, and we put mine as the mean, the middle of it. We would then look at how differently the scores go from one side of the mean to the other. So look at it this way. You're driving down a freeway, okay? Let's say it's an imaginary 3-lane freeway, okay? You've got one group going, the middle group going in this direction, going north. The other two are going south, okay? How far away each of the lanes are would be how far it is from me in the middle, okay? We look at the scores on the right side and on the left side, okay? We could look at just speeds. My speed would be the mean. Their speeds would be different over here, and we would then put them all together. That's the best analogy I can give you of a visual. The other one would be, you see the second one here. Let's say 17 minutes is a really bad number, but it gives you the idea that, let's say I've got a team and I got 17 minutes for 2 miles, okay? They have to run 2 miles at the beginning of the year. We do it at the end of the year. We do a one sample t-test on both, okay? We could do that, or we can just do it once. So let's say we just do it once, and the 17 minutes is the goal. I can then put all the times in there, just like 11 minutes, 12 minutes, rounding it up or down, and put those numbers in there, and I can see how much it differs on either side by looking at the mean, telling if it's significant or not. And then next year I can move it to, let's say, 18 or 16, and I can run it again. And every time I run that separately, I can then run another test to kind of look at it as a whole, but I can look at how each of the seasons do. So it's kind of like the idea of 17 would be the mark. The t-test, of course, is there enough evidence to infer the means of the corresponding populations differ? A lot of times we are going to be looking at the difference in the means, okay, between male and female in some, maybe socioeconomic in another. There's 3. Right now we're looking at 1. So we're looking at a criterion that we are going to set, okay? That's it for the one sample t-test. We're gonna, in a couple minutes, we're gonna be going through the actual tests, and then I'm gonna post everything in the room for you, and you can get to work. The next part is to work on your project, okay? The project includes the CBS, which we'll go over today, and the different parts of the research paper template. The introduction is, you should be able to start the introduction. As you're doing your research for your articles, you're learning more about burnout, and you need to devise 2 paragraphs that kind of surmise burnout, and then 1 paragraph of a point where you, as the primary researcher, have experienced burnout. This is real important. This is the beginning of your paper. You're drawing somebody in. You're getting them to like what you're talking about. It's like putting a bait on a hook and throwing the hook in the water. And then once you get the bite, you're looking to just give it a little bit of a pull so you can grab, the fish will grab it. Well, the reader is your fish, and you got to throw something out there, because some people, as you can read some abstracts, you go, oh, I really don't want to read this. Well, we really want to read this. This is a point where I want to read this portion of it. The rest of it, I'm looking for what you're doing. But in this section and in any of your analysis, I'm looking to see what you're actually doing. If you understand the topic of burnout, I don't need to have an in-depth conversation with it, but it's really, you're looking for definitions, you're looking for other things. So let me go through this real quick. You want to introduce your topic from broad to narrow. Okay, broad meaning, okay, start out with the definition of burnout. And then as you're looking through more articles, you have to do 3, but you need to be looking at more to pull out some more information. You need to find a definition and then explain the definition. Use some quotes from other authors that beef up what burnout really is, and whatever subject you're deciding burnout is in, health or whatever it is, okay? This should take probably about a paragraph, maybe 5-6 lines, okay? Your second paragraph, okay, is going to be background on the topic. So you're going to talk about, let's say if you're talking about the health industry, you're talking about education. There's so much material out there that you, by the time you've read 5 or 6 articles, you could write a couple paraphrase sentences on the real commonalities of why burnout happens. Okay, that would be that. Any history that you can find out about burnout, about when it really came about, how it came about, how the topic of burnout really hit and when it hit. Okay, and then really, I'm going to talk about gaps in the existing literature, but you're not really worried about it in this. I just want you to understand it. And then your last paragraph is your personal experience. It should be about a page. Okay, 3 good paragraphs should easily make a page. The last one is tell a time when you actually felt burnout. Now that you kind of understand burnout, you may have not understood it was burnout at the time, but now you probably should. Okay, you're going to talk about it, but we are APA surrounded, so you are the primary researcher. There's no I, we, us, or them. It's real important because you'll be marked down. There's no I, there's no we, there's no us in the paper. I'm not real happy with they. They means somebody who. So if I say uh, they thought that burnout was this. Well, who is they? Is it the guy in the corner with the thing begging for money, or is it an author? If it's an author, you point out the author. So it's real important that you understand that you're not using the word I. You need to go through your paper and make sure there's no I references unless I tell you. And there may be a section I add that you may be using an I section, but it will be at the very end of the paper. Okay, again, don't use the word I, we, us, them, they. Really bad. Other thing is, you're a big kid. I always say, you're a big kid now. Do not use contractions. Contractions are for kids. You're a scholarly writer. We're working toward teaching you to be a scholar. Do not, cannot, will not. Any we are, were, we, apostrophe AR, RE. We are. Use the whole words. Every word counts. Okay? So please, no contractions. And that ends the PowerPoint, and we will move into the next section.